Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakodash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations, as always, to the elect. And I wanted to get into the difference between offenses and trespasses, all right? Because often, when tensions arise in the brotherhood, okay, we tend to bring out this scripture here in Matthew, the 18th chapter, where it says, "But whoso shall offend one of these little ones," which the little ones are the believers, all right, those who have humbled themselves as children, okay, which children are able to take correction, all right, children are willing to learn, all right, children are in awe of their father, okay. A child can get a whooping, okay, and be able to love you within the next, all right, 5 minutes as if you didn't whoop them. These are attributes that you have to know and have to put on in order to be accepted of Yahweh Bashim Shai. That's why here in Matthew 18:3 it says, "And I said, verily, I say unto you, except you be converted and come, all right, as this little child, all right, and become as little children, all right, you have to unlearn everything you thought you knew. You have to put off the old way and you have to come as a child, okay, desiring the sincere milk, which is needed to nurture you as a true Israelite, all right, not just an Israelite, but Israel of the Most High God." There's a difference, okay, and it's a mindset that ultimately separates the two, okay, and really what separates the two is being chosen from the foundation of the earth. But as you see here, Yahweh Shai said, "Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, okay, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven." Okay. "Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven." Okay. So there's a humility process, which many men love to step over. Okay. And then they get into the deep breakdowns, the debate, they get into, getting likes and getting called elder and this and that. All right. But there's particular childlike qualities that are required for you to have, all right, in order for you to be accepted of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. See, many men are on the internet making videos doing, some of the greatest breakdowns, but when it comes to the inward man, and them, humbling themselves as children, taking correction, okay. Again, a child is able to get a whooping, okay, but 3 minutes later, the child loves you, all right? And in this truth, chastisement comes as we are children of the Most High, all right? The scriptures tell you any child, all right, without chastisement is a bastard. Well, when some men receive chastisement of Yahweh Bashim Shai, okay, they become proud. They pull the shoulder. They get mad. They get angry when there's lessons in the chastisement, but they focus more on the bitter aspect that comes with the chastisement to where they miss out on the lesson. You don't want to be that. But anyway, as it says here, "Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven." Okay. "And whoso shall receive one such little child in my name receiveth me." And again, the little children are the believers. You can be a grown-ass man, all right, you can be 52 years old, you can be 70 years old, come into this truth, but there's still, all right, qualities of a child that you must possess and humble yourself to in order to be ultimately fully accepted of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. There's only so far you'll go in this truth if you don't accept, all right, these qualities and put them on. Okay, a child is impressionable. A child is willing to learn. A child is in awe of his father. Okay, he's nourished by the breast of his mother, all of those things. And as the scriptures say, we need to desire the sincere milk, because those qualities are what's going to get you through, all right, the straight gate. But here it says, but whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a milestone or a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned into the depth of the sea. Woe unto the world because of offenses. For it must needs be that offenses come, but woe to that man by whom the offense cometh. So a lot of times we get into, situations in the brotherhood, which, sometimes brothers clash. Sometimes men, have spirits on them to where they do ultimately, make brothers feel some type of way. But the offense you feel, all right, in those situations is not what this is talking about here. And I often see this scripture thrown around, that he was offending, you're going around offending. Well, what is the true offense that Yahushua is talking about? So what we're going to get into is the difference between offenses and trespasses. Now, when you read this in the NLT, Matthew 6 and Matthew 18 and 6, it says, but if you cause one of these little ones who trust in me to fall into sin, see, it were better for you to have a large millstone tied around your neck and drowned into the depths of the sea. So ultimately, the offense is making one of these little ones who trust in him fall into sin. Now, how do you make one fall into sin? There's many ways, but ultimately, the focus here, all right, is false doctrines. Let's get the word offense. Okay? The word offense. Okay?
Strong's G 4624, scandalizo. Scandalizo.
Okay, and you have men that do this. Okay, to put a stumbling block or impediment in the way upon which another may fall and trip, metaphorically to offend. So putting a stumbling block in front of your brother, which causes them to trip and fall, all right, is a way, all right, to offend, to entice to sin. Okay, to entice to sin. And the offenses that were going on at this time were the offenses tied to the belief that Yahushua was the Son of the Most High. You see? And many men were going around, trying to entice the little ones, the followers of Yahushua, okay, to ultimately follow them, to get back into, believing in that animal sacrifice was the only way back to the Most High. And there was many other things going on. Okay? There was all kind of debates going on. He wasn't born in Bethlehem. The prophecy said he would be born in Bethlehem, which Yahushua was born in Bethlehem. See? But he was raised in Nazareth because he had to flee Bethlehem. His father and his mother and him, when he was a child, they had to flee Bethlehem because of the persecution of King Herod. Okay, but many people didn't know that. See? And the Lord didn't want some of them to know it. See, the Lord wants particular people on the outer court. So he sets up stumbling blocks. But it says here, to cause a person to begin to distrust and desert one whom he ought to trust and obey. And who ought we to trust and obey? All right, Yahweh through his son, Yahushua. So the offense here that, is tied to you, it would be better for you having a, millstone tied around your neck here, is causing one to distrust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Okay, bringing about false doctrines, doubts, doubtful disputations, doing things that mess with the spirit of the believers, trying to be that man, all right, to take down the men who Yahweh Bashim Yahushua set up, all right, and forming your own path, making your own doctrine, and being a demon. You have this happening now. You have men really offending the little ones. Okay? But the beauty of it is that none of the true followers of Yahweh Shai will be plucked out of his hand. You see? As a matter of fact, let's get that. I believe it's, let's see here. We'll get it here on this app. Plucked. None is lost or plucked. Forget, I believe it's John, the 10th chapter. Let's see here. Give me one. Okay, this is John 17. All right, and I believe it's, let's see, let's start here at 12. I believe it's, we'll start here in verse 4, John 10 and 4. And when he putteth forth his own sheep, he goeth before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. And the extension of the voice of the Most High God, Yahweh, all right, is through Yahweh Shai. He is the voice of the Most High. And we are an extension of that voice. All right, starting with the head disciples. All right, but that church has been continued here today. It says, and a stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him, for they know not the voice of strangers. All right. So as you go down here, verse 27, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. Okay, so nobody will be able to pluck the true elect of Yahweh Bashim Yashai out of his hand. Whether they go astray for a moment or whether, eventually those souls, those spirits will wake up. This word pluck. Okay, pluck them out of his hand. Give me 1 second here. Okay, it's tripping. What I'll do is go here, John 10. Give me 1 second here. John 10 and 28. All right, the word pluck, harpazo, to seize, carry off by force, to seize, claim for oneself, snatch out or snatch away. So none of the elect will be snatched out of the hands of the Most High God, Yahweh, through Yahweh Shai, but each man has their own story. So there may be a point where you deceive, for a moment, but ultimately you're going to hear the true voice and follow it. Now, going back to what we were reading here in Matthew, the 18th chapter, the offenses that Yahweh Shai was speaking of, all right, because again, we're going into the difference between offenses and trespasses, okay? And we showed you here that, offenses is dealing with a scandal, a scandalon, okay? Right now, we see men caught in particular scandals to where particular portions of the scriptures got them bugged out, and they're winging it to the point where they're teaching it as doctrine, causing many, all right, people to, follow a false doctrine, But again, they're putting a stumbling block, a trap, okay? Now, that's a good one too. But let's read this one. Oh yeah, I was already there. It says, a movable stick of trigger of a trap, a snare, an impediment placed in the way and causing one to stumble or fall, a stumbling block. So you're putting a stumbling block in the way of a believer, causing them to not trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. That's the offense Yahweh Shai is speaking of here. All right, a rock which is a cause of stumbling. Figuratively applied to Yahweh Shai, all right, which he's a stumbling block. All right, his position, his way, his stance, how he is, it's all a stumbling block to many men in Israel, man. Okay, whose persons and career were so contrary to the expectation of the Jews concerning the Messiah that they rejected him. So the rejection of Yahweh Shai, all right, because he's a stumbling block. The way that these scriptures are written is a stumbling block. And that's all fulfilled in Yahweh Shai, who comes in the volume of the book. All right. And ultimately, it's a setup for certain men, all right, to trip and fall over that stumbling block. All right. But ultimately, what this does is they reject him, and by their obstinacy, all right, made shipwreck of their salvation. Okay. So it's twofold. Any person or thing which one is entrapped, drawn into error or sin. So ultimately, the offense that Yahushua is dealing with here, okay, let's see what this root word says. All right, to bow oneself to idols or whatever it may be, to another man outside of Yahweh Shem Shai, whatever it may be. But ultimately, the offense here, okay, the offense here that Yahushua is speaking of, all right, is when one tempts one to rebel against Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. See, now amongst brothers, you have trespassers. Now let's read this again. Matthew 18:7. Woe unto the world because of offenses, for it must needs be that offenses must come. See, and we're seeing a lot of those offenses amongst, all right, Israel right now. See, they're here. But woe to that man by whom that offense come. So this is not dealing with, all right, a particular ought between you and a brother where you may be offended because of his spirit or something he said or something he did. All right, this is different here. Okay, but you do have particular brothers who be amongst the body coming with secret breakdowns, murmuring, all right, enticing men to rebel, okay, forming cliques, okay, that will fall under this category, forming cliques that I don't really believe it, instead of dealing with it as men, right? Like those dudes in Boston, right? Here it is. For years, they were at the camp, all right, debating, Christians, telling the Christians they're wrong, all right, about their breakdown on Cornelius, about their breakdown on the Gentiles, having these long drawn out debates, getting on the phone with, and then to get to the end, and you really didn't believe, all right, and you ensnare other men to follow you with that folly, all right. Woe to that man by whom that offense came. Wherefore, all right, it says, woe to the world because of offenses, for it must needs be that offenses must come, but woe to that man by whom the offense cometh. All right. Wherefore, if thy right hand or foot offend thee, cut them off. All right. You got a brother amongst the body, all right, who's bringing offenses that are just contrary to the spirit. All right. Bringing about a situation that's enticing brothers to go off, sin, commit adultery. You have to cut that brother off. It is better for thee to enter into life halted and maimed rather than having 2 hands or 2 feet to be cast into everlasting fire, which we know that everlasting fire, again, this word everlasting, right? All right. Without beginning, without end, and ultimately it was ordained from the beginning. Okay, that which has always been. Ultimately, you were ordained without beginning, without end, never to cease, everlasting. And then as you go here to the root word, it could also mean a period of time. Okay? I just wanted to bring that out. So let's type in offenses here, right? Offenses. And then we'll get into transgressions, and then we'll close the video out. All right? Because we offended. All right? Pursuant to that first covenant, we offended. All right? But let's get this here in Romans 16:17. All right? And now I beseech you, brethren, to mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned. All right, mark them. Let's look up this word mark, because when we do this, a lot of people get mad and say it's hatred, it's attacking. Well, the Lord said he hewed them by the prophets. You know what that word hewed means? Okay, to ultimately attack. It's a spiritual attack. You see? But a lot of you have been raised in the West, and you look at the West and its conflict resolution and all of that as the thinking that's how it was in the East. No, okay. In the East, you came to men. You know, if a man was doing something wrong, okay, there's particular moments where you would go between you and him, all right. But if he's causing an offense that could lead to sin, error, you have to rebuke before all, okay. The word here is scopeo, all right, a scope, to look at, to observe, to contemplate, to mark, to fix one eyes upon, direct one's attention to anyone, to look, to take heed to thyself. Okay? So ultimately, you mark that man which calls divisions. The word divisions, all right, is dissension. All right, divisions in what? Okay, the doctrine. All right, and offenses. Okay, scandalon, the same word. All right, to put a snare and a trap, all right, on a brother to cause him to go off. All right, and there's particular, again, Yahweh Shai is set up as a snare and a trap for many men because they're proud. Okay, you know, when they have to really literally apply Yahweh Shai or lean on him, all right, they show that they don't believe in him. All right, there's many ways Yahweh Shai is a stumbling block. Okay, but ultimately, when you draw a brother into error or sin by a false doctrine, okay, this is what Paul is talking about here. Romans 16 and 17. All right. And now I make one more appeal, my dear brothers and sisters. Watch out for people who cause divisions and upset people's faith by teaching things contrary to what you have been taught. Stay away from them. Avoid them. Separate yourself from them. See? And this happens. See? So this is what Yahweh Shah was talking about here. All right. In Matthew the 18th chapter. Like an example is in Romans the 14th chapter. All right. Because you can have a brother who has a spirit, is too nitpicky, he's always, getting on brothers, which getting on brothers is a beautiful thing, right? But that has to be done in balance. And you have to understand not everybody is where you at, right? So this is Romans 14. It says, accept believers who are weak in the faith and don't argue with them, all right, about what they think is right or wrong. Certain, instances come up. There's always a debate when you come around. There's always this, there's always that. I can wear brothers' spirits out. All right. You have to, know the men you're dealing with. You have to know how to deal. Now, don't get it twisted. If the spirit comes on a brother to get on brothers, there's a time and place for that. All right. But these are instances that were taking place amongst the church. He brought up this particular instance. For instance, one person believes it's all right to eat anything, all right, particular meats, that were offered to idols, okay, because you had particular meat that was sold in the shambles that, were, before they were sold, they were used in particular sacrifices. Now, the meat itself is just meat. Okay, but you had men who were coming out of lifestyles where they partook in those sacrifices, so they looked at that meat as so they would say, "I'm not eating meat anymore." Once they came into the fold, right? But another believer with a sensitive conscience will only eat vegetables. Okay, and it's just going in between these particular back and forths. All right. Because these things can lead to trespasses, which we're going to get into real quick, right? But the goal here, okay, as Paul is just getting ready to say here, let's see here. Verse 13, Paul says in the NLT, let's stop condemning each other, decide instead to live in such a way that will not cause another believer to stumble and fall. This is the goal. See, and this is what Yahweh Shai was talking about here. the offenses. All right. So what brothers do is when they get offended or something hurts them that a brother does, all right, they'll apply this scripture when really what happened is the brother trespassed against you. And in this same chapter, all right, verse 15, all right, Paul says this. Yahushua says this. Salakia, long night. All right. Discipline and prayer. It says, verse 15, Matthew 18 and 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, see? So there's a difference between, all right, an offense, all right, someone leading, doing something that's ultimately leading you to sin, teaching something that's off and against what you've learned and what's true, and a trespass. Sometimes amongst the brotherhood, all right, brothers trespass against you. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee, all right, and him alone. All right. And if you two believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, y'all should be able to get past it. All right. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. Okay. And a lot of times we skip this aspect, and what we do is we go and talk to somebody else. See? So the brother who did the particular trespass, he doesn't even have a chance to get better because ultimately you haven't told him. Okay? And this is a part of manhood, and these are things we didn't really learn here in Babylon the Great. It's very uncomfortable to go to a brother and tell him, you offended me, or let's talk this out, or he maybe look at you wrong. He may have had a bad day. He looking at you some type of way, or he says something some type of way. He salutes you a type of way, and you're like, well, wait a minute. What's going on here? Or he says something and whatever. It could be any situation, but these are trespasses. Okay, there's a difference between a trespass and an offense. All right, and I was talking to the priest Pashai about he's the reason I'm doing this lesson, because we were having a very spiritual conversation, and I was like, wow, that's true. All right, so I'm just land backing on that conversation. But as you can see here, this says
Strong's G 264, hamartano.
All right, to be without a share in, to miss the mark, to be in error. Sometimes brothers are in error. Sometimes brothers miss the mark. All right, and you have to understand, all right, that the brother is sincere, but he just went off. So what you do, okay, to be mistaken. Sometimes brothers, are mistaken, all right, and they feel sincerely that they're right, but you're not right. Okay, and you have to, in these situations is where you're going to have to apply long suffering. Okay, the fruits of the spirit. You see, but there is a way to deal with these situations as well, which Yahushua is talking about. It says to miss or wander off from the path of uprightness and honor. All right, to do or go wrong, to wander from the law of the Most High, to violate God's law, to sin. All right, to trespass against you. Okay, which causes a very uncomfortable feeling inside of your spirit. It makes you to look at that brother some type of way. And sometimes what happens is, because of that initial uncomfort you had with this brother's spirit or what he may have done or how he is, you tend to apply anything he says or does to that initial uncomfort. All right. And that can be, ultimately, it could choke out the spirit. Okay. That can become toxic. But here, okay, Yahushua is saying, moreover, if thy brother, a believer in the same doctrine, he ain't teaching nothing crazy, shall trespass against thee, because, you have particular brothers who are going through things. You don't know what brothers are going through. Particular brothers have different backgrounds. All right. But the key is meshing everything we have into Yahweh Bashem Yahushua's program. All right. And this is where we have to apply true love, which to truly love is not the easiest thing to do because of the flesh. Okay. because of bitterness, because of, how you feel. All right. And this is where we have to apply Yahweh Shai. It says, moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. Look, brother, and a lot of things, as the Bishop Manatazak says, is much to do with nothing. A lot of times you'll figure out that if I just have a simple conversation with this brother, a simple conversation goes a long way. Sometimes you can be in your own head about a situation, and really, once you have the conversation with the brother or whatever, like, oh, it wasn't even that bad. Okay, it's just that you and your own feelings. Okay, you're taking count. You got to understand, demons be working in your mind too. So the counsel you're taking, you thinking it's the right counsel, but you didn't really follow the spirit. There's demons in you because Satan wants to cause friction, divisions. That's his job. That's his job, going to and fro, up and down the earth, seeking who he may devour. Right. So what do you think that means? You think that he's just walking up and down the street? No, there's spirits ultimately looking for situations where Satan can get in the midst and disrupt things and cause chaos. So if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and talk to him. All right, we need to get into this practice more. Right, but if he will not hear thee, all right, if he, man, nah, man, fuck that, man, I ain't, and y'all can't seem to get to any type of agreement, all right, then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. Okay? So if you're unsuccessful, go and get another brother, a mediator, or 2, right? And basically try to hash it out with another person who doesn't have, all right, a stake or interest in the situation, and break everything down, all right? And then you, brothers, should be able to come to an agreement if you truly believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You should be able to get to a point where it's like, okay, all right, let the truth win, okay? Because what can happen is you could start, if you don't handle these things the right way, you could start, bearing hatred to your neighbor for everything, every wrong, anything he says or does. You just start to, you get a negative feeling on the inside of your spirit, and it's messed up. But these are things that happen amongst the brotherhood, man. Certain spirits are just like, oh boy, here he goes again, and But this is why you have to deal and follow the steps that Yahweh Bashem Yahushua gave us. All right, because you can get into a situation where let's get that in the book of Sirach. Here we go, Sirach 10:6. Bear not hatred to thy neighbor for every wrong, and do nothing by injurious practices. So you don't want to, all right, any and every little thing he does now from that point, all right, you just irritated to the point where you don't even want to deal with the man. Anything he does inside of your mind is he breathed the right way. He has an opinion about something, or you automatically are getting angry on the inside. And again, these are things we all have to deal with. This is why applying Yahweh Shai and understanding what true love is, all right, because, bro, I love that, brother. I love that. Well, what is love? What is love? Okay, we'll get into that. So bear not hatred to thy neighbor for every wrong, and do nothing by injurious practices, man. To where you just want a brother, he just a piece of shit in your eyes, a dumb nigga, all kind of stuff, He ain't right, yada, 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 whatever. And sometimes brothers ain't right. Sometimes men ain't right. But you have to do the necessary steps before it gets to that point where you cast him out as a heathen man, as it says here. Matthew 18:16, but if he will not hear thee, then take with thee, all right, 1 or 2 or more, all right, that in the mouth of 2 witnesses every word may be established. Hear the matter out. And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But he neglect to hear the church, all right, so it may be a point where we got to have a council amongst certain brothers of a particular rank in the camp, all right, you have a council because you can't seem to mend this issue. But if you neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican. All right. And ultimately, this lets you know that Israelites can be called heathen because of their practices, because of the spirit that they're coming in. And publicans were hated. A corrupt tax collector, they were hated. You see what I'm saying? So again, let's go back to Sirach, the 28th chapter, man. All right, because you have to learn how to forgive. As a matter of fact, let's get what I wanted to get in the book of 1 Corinthians 13 real quick. Okay? And we'll start at 4 because we know that love, all right, charity, okay, is how we fulfill the law amongst each other. So we have to learn and apply love, which that comes with what? Long suffering. All right. That comes with, taking the low. That comes with a lot. Okay. 1 Corinthians 13 and 4, I'll read it in NLT. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud. Okay. Or rude. All right. You're not supposed to get, now you got certain brothers with forward spirits, right? You have the meeker, more gentle brothers, but you have brothers that are more, forward. Okay. But you have to be able to separate the two. A brother who's rude, just disrespectful, hey, you got to chill. All right. But sometimes the spirit is on brothers to be more forward. All right. But true love is not rude. All right. It's not, as it says in the King James, it does not behave itself unseemingly. Okay. The word unseemingly. All right. To act unbecomingly. It's a tongue twister there. Unbecomingly. See what that means. Unbecomingly is an adverb that means something that is not keeping with what is considered right, proper, and good taste. Just tripping. Doing too much. That's not true love. Okay? That's why you have to be temperate. See, the fruits of the spirit, the sincere milk of the scriptures is what brothers need to really be tapping into as well. All right. But we are in a time of great prophecy. Right. But temptation, as we get through these straight gate, you're going to have to apply the fruits of the spirit. All right. In order to get through it, man, because it's going to be trying. All right. It says, let's start over. Love, which we know the word love in the Greek is agape love. It says, which means sincere love, man. All right. And it's not unconditional. There are conditions to the love of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right. Because we all have a standard that we're held to. But sometimes men miss the mark. Sometimes men trespass against you. Okay. Sometimes brothers have spirits on them. Love is patient. All right. Suffereth long. That's one of the many aspects. All right, one of the main important aspects of love that Jake don't want to deal with. The minute they feel, any type of uncomfort, they out of there. They blow up. When the Lord puts you in that situation with that brother to where you can apply long suffering. Charity suffereth long. Let's see if this suffereth long. See?
Strong's G 3114. Makrathumeo. Makrathumeo.
To be of a long spirit, not to lose heart, not to lose your mind when you're put in an uncomfortable situation or where a brother, is his spirit is just like it's too much for you, whatever it may be. These are situations that arise in the brotherhood. It says to persevere patiently and bravely, all right, and enduring misfortunes and troubles. Okay? To persevere patiently and bravely in enduring misfortunes and troubles. To be patient in bearing offenses and injuries of others. See? That's applying Yahweh Shai. To be mild and slow to avenging, to be long suffering, slow to anger, slow to punish. All right? You have particular men who are too quick, all right, to roll out when they feel any form of, all right, of wrong, all right? Which Yahweh Shai didn't do that. Let's see here. The fruits of the Spirit. Galatians 5:22. But the fruits of the Spirit, all right, we can't allow these Christians to hijack these very necessary scriptures, man. Okay, brothers come in, and you want to be a tough guy and known as hardcore. Well, this is being hardcore right here. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, all right, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against there is not such law. So this is how you fulfill. This is a way to fulfill the law as well. Okay, long-suffering. All right.
Strong's G 3115. Makrathumia. Makrathumia.
Patience, endurance, constancy, steadfastness, perseverance, patience, forbearance, long-suffering, slowness, and avenging wrongs. And don't think that the Lord ain't gonna put you in a situation within the brotherhood where you have to apply these things. A lot of brothers they pray for more faith, they pray for more of this, they pray for more of that. But then when they're put in a situation where they have to apply it, they lose their mind. So let's read this again. 1 Corinthians 13:4 in the NLT. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful. You may have a brother with a higher position, all right, or you in the higher position. You don't be boastful because of that position, all right. You've had men come around and the Lord blessed them with, the certain information, all right, the ability to go into the scriptures and bring out precept, and they became boastful and proud. Okay. It says, or rude. Okay. You talk down to brothers because of your position. You look down on brothers. You treat brothers like shit. Okay. Because of how many likes you got or how many views you got or whatever it may be. It does not demand its own way. See, true love does not demand its own way. True love is understanding that I'm not going to get my way all the time. Maybe the Lord is testing me in this situation. So you have to suffer wrongfully a lot of times. And that's hard. True love is not the easiest thing to do because it requires you to walk in the Spirit, right? All right. So you don't do the things of the flesh. Boom. Romans 8:4, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. Galatians 5:16, this I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. And this is where the scriptures say, flee Babylon. All right. Really what that's saying is flee fornication. Okay. All right. And a way to commit fornication against Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is about how you handle things. When you have a blueprint, when you have the law, the prophets, when you have the scriptures, when you have the Spirit, all right, on how to handle these things, all right, but you continuously handle it like you handle things in the world. You haven't put on the elect. Okay. So it does not demand its own way. You're not going to get your way. These are lessons that I'm still learning. So I'm talking to myself as well in this lesson. I have my struggles, right? It is not irritable. You don't want to be irritable. All right. With, every little thing a brother does, or, you just on the inside, just mad. Okay. You have to apply true love. Again, it's not easy. All right. And each brother has a responsibility as well. You have some brothers, this is me, this is my spirit. Well, okay, that's cool. But you were brought into this truth to change as well. Okay. And there's going to be certain spirits that are going to be challenging to you. All right. But if y'all believe the same thing, right, and you truly believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua and y'all deal as men, you should be able to get around these things. Okay. And there's certain contentions to where, certain men of the Lord had to depart from one another. That happens, right? You're just not going to be around you. I'm going to go teach here, you teach here. All right. But the doctrine stayed the same. It says it does not demand its own way. It is not irritable to where you can't enjoy the fruits of the spirit because you're holding on to offense, like the elder Ariala was going into. You haven't even forgiven yourself for particular things you had going on in the world. You brought those offenses into the truth, and now anything that you're faced with, you're not handling it as a true believer and follower of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You're handling it like you would have handled it in the world. And this is the hard part right here. And keep no record. True love keeps no record of being wronged. I mean, you're not holding on to offenses, man. And that's hard because of this flesh. Okay? It's not irritable and it keeps no record of being wronged. All right? This is true love. Okay? And that's all fulfilled in Yahweh Shah. He did all of these things. Okay? Because we're the ones who broke the law. But look what he did for us. Okay? It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. You're not rejoicing, I'm gonna get my point across. No, you want the truth to win. You want the truth of the matter to win. All right? As the book of James says, all right, I believe it's a miss. Let me see if I can find it. Yep, James 4:1. Okay, James is a book heavy on how to handle things amongst the brotherhood. Okay, from whence come wars and fightings among you? Come they not? All right. Hence, even of your lust and the wars that are happening in your members. NLT, what is causing quarrels and fights among you? Don't they come from the evil desires at war within you? So brothers have particular demons within them that they haven't dealt with, and they bring that shit into the brotherhood. Again, you have to know your weaknesses. You have to know your spirit. You have to deal with things within you too. Okay? It says, ye lust and have not, ye kill and desire to have, and cannot obtain. Ye fight and war, yet ye have not, because ye ask not. Okay? I didn't even plan on going into all of these things, but it's all the spirit. Let's read this in the NLT. You want what you don't have, so you scheme and kill to get it. You're jealous of what others have, but you can't get it, so you fight and wage war to take it away from them. Yet you don't have what you want because you don't ask the Most High for it. Okay? You're not asking, you're not really praying to the Lord, all right, for the right thing. Okay? You're praying in for your will, your belly to be done. You're not ultimately praying for the truth to win out. And even when you ask, you don't get it because your motives are all wrong. See? You're not praying for when you get into a situation with a brother, you're not praying to, for the truth to win out, for the situation to be squashed, all right, or for y'all to move forward in this truth. You're praying, all right, to be seen as right. All right? And in some situations you are right. All right? But as you get into these situations, sometimes, all right, you have to endure and suffer wrongfully, man. As James is saying, is even when you do pray to the Lord, you don't get what you're asking for because your motives are all wrong. You want only what will give you pleasure. See? You want only what gives you pleasure. You want your way to be won over. You want to win in your way. Your God is your belly. And see, this makes you what? Ye adulterers and you adulteresses. All right? Know ye not that friendship with the world is enmity with the Most High? Therefore, whosoever will be a friend of the world is an enemy of the Most High. A lot of people just think being worldly is, the rap music aspect. No, being worldly is also how you handle things in the brotherhood. So keep those things in mind, right? Let's finish this off. Real love, all right, does not rejoice about injustice, all right, but rejoice whenever the truth wins out. See? Love never gives up. Love never loses faith. Love is always hopeful and endures through every circumstance. So, man, applying true love is where it's at. All right. And this is where we put, therefore, on the elect. All right. We read that scripture. All right. I believe that's Ephesians or Colossians. Right. Boom. Colossians 3:12. Put on, therefore, as the elect of the Most High, holy, beloved, all right, bowels of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering, forbearing one another, and forgiving one another, all right, forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as Yahweh Shai forgave you, so also do ye. And above all things, put on charity, which is that true love. Let's look up that word charity. Agape, that's the agape love, affection, goodwill, love, benevolence, brotherly love. All right. Love feast. Even when you're feasting, there's an order to how you brothers should be feasting with one another. You don't eat like wild animals. All right. You don't get seconds before everybody then ate. All right. You're not all running all at the stove because you hungry. Okay. And the food is done. No, things need to be done decently and in order. Okay. Y'all feasting, and sometimes it happens, right? The music is playing and brothers are chilling, all right. But the scriptures talks about a brother hindering the music. They turn the music down. He gets all serious. Now that happens sometimes, but there are scriptures in the book of Sirach, all right, because that does happen. Sometimes, the spirit can be flowing, brothers having fun, but sometimes, hey, the Lord is like, look, fuck all that. And the spirit get on the brother. He's all serious, man. Fuck, he wants to, get deep. That happens. That happens, right? But the scriptures does say sometimes, look, man, just chill. Be like everybody else that's amongst the feast. All right? Hinder not music. See if I can find that scripture. Hinder. Let's see here. Boom. Sirach 32:1. The scriptures cover everything. If thou be made a master of a feast. As a matter of fact, let's get this in the GNT. Give me 1 second here. It says, if you are chosen to preside at a banquet, don't put on airs. Just be like everyone else. Look after the guests before you sit down. When you amongst each other, you want me to throw that away from you, brother? You want some more wine? Be brotherly to one another, man. These are all things that, were looked at as soft. But when you get into this truth, one of the things you learn is how to serve. See, you're learning how to serve as well. All right. And there's certain brothers, when they got around us down here in Dallas, they were like, man, we had never seen nothing like that. But now we apply it and it makes a better environment. All right. When you're looking after your brother, when you're, seeking, to make everything comfortable for the next man, and everybody has that same mindset and order is acknowledged, that makes for a better environment. Okay. It says, after you have performed your duties, sit your ass down. You can sit down and enjoy yourself with others. They will respect you for doing a good job. If you are older than most guests, you may talk. That is your right. But you should know that know what you're talking about and not to interrupt the music. So sometimes, the older brother may be in the spirit. He's looking at brothers, vibe. He's like, man, man, look, we at war. He might get in that spirit or want to address something. That's his right. All right. But that brother should also, understand that, look, man, let the music play. Sometimes you in a certain spirit, just go home too. All right, you in the corner looking like you just got out of prison. Right, you just go home, bro. Sometimes the spirit don't be on you to want to fellowship all the time, or you get to a point where you want to go home. That happens. Don't fuck up the vibe, basically, right? It says if entertainment is being provided, don't keep up a steady conversation. It's the wrong time to show off your wit. See? Music at a banquet is where wine is served. All right? Music at a banquet where wine is served is like a ruby set in gold. Good music and good wine and emerald set in gold. So let's see. If you are young, don't speak unless you have to, but never more than twice, and only if someone speaks to you first. Come to the point and say it all in few words. Show that you are well informed, but stay quiet. All right? And that's a whole nother lesson. But this chapter is going into how to deal with feasts and parties amongst one another, man. Agape love has to be applied in order for these things to run smoothly. Okay? The food ready, you rushing to the stove with a stain on your shirt, tripping. Hey, I'm hungry, man. I ate all fucking day, man. Nah, man. Hell nah. Sit your ass down, all right, and wait for things to be done decently and in order, man. Okay? So, Colossians chapter 3 and 4, and above all things, let's see here where we at. Yep, I'm going to read this in the NLT. Colossians 3 and 13. Make allowance for each other's faults and forgive anyone who offends you, all right? Those trespasses. Remember, the Lord forgave you, so you must forgive others. All right, and everything is conditional, right? There's particular dudes who just ain't right, right? But men who are sincere, who have particular spirits that may rub you the wrong way, all right? They ain't enticing you to go off. They ain't teaching no other doctrine. All right, sometimes you got to deal with brothers, man. All right? It just is what it is. All right? But that brother got to know as well, all right, how to, be temperate and understand his spirit as well and how he can be offended. We all got a job to do. Okay? And when everybody is taking heed in that aspect, we all win. But again, certain times things happen. Above all, clothe yourselves with love, which binds us all together in perfect harmony. All right. And so forth. All right. Did I read that? Yep. So let's get a few more and I'm going to close it out. What I also wanted to get was Sirach 28. Sirach 28 and 1. He that revengeth shall find vengeance from the Lord, and he will surely keep his sins in remembrance. All right. Forgive thy neighbor the hurt that he have done unto thee, so that thy sins also shall be forgiven when thou prayest. All right. One man beareth hatred against another, and doth he seek pardon from the Lord? So again, like we say, bear not hatred to your neighbor for every wrong. Forgive your neighbor, man. All right. We're learning how to become judges. All right. We're learning to be like Yahweh Shai. So these are things we have to apply. Okay. And certain niggas just don't belong amongst the body, but you have brothers that are amongst the body. And that brother's spirit, it may challenge you. And the Lord wanted this challenge for you. All right. But these are trespasses. These are different than, all right, the offenses that Yahweh Shai was talking about in Matthew 18. Forgive thy neighbor the hurt that he have done unto thee, so shall thy sins also be forgiven when thou prayest. Okay? So you should want well for the brother. Make sure you're praying for brothers. When brother, that's one of the ways you cover yourself, man. Pray for the brother, man. When you're in these type of situations or, contentions, you pray for the brother too. All right. You don't want him to be, put to death, because of a trespass. You don't want the Lord to destroy him and, he die in nuclear destruction. No, that's not what's going on here. So this is why we have to apply the orders and the steps that Yahushua gave us in that chapter when we have these offenses amongst one another, and we have to deal like men, and we can't go into councils seeking to be, declared to be right. Sometimes you are right, but sometimes the spirit of a situation may just require you to shut the fuck up. Sometimes truth can be spoken out of season. All right. The scriptures talks about, all right, truth spoken out of season. All right. Your timing is off. So we all got to keep these things in mind as we're dealing amongst the brotherhood. But I just wanted to go into that because I notice a lot of brothers use that Matthew 18. All right. Because they may be, have a problem or some type of quarrel. All right. But you don't want to get into the act of transgressing and just continuously transgressing against brothers, man, because it can become an offense. It says, Sirach 28:4, he showeth no mercy to man, which is like unto himself in the flesh, and doesn't he ask forgiveness for his own sins? If he that is but flesh nourish hatred, who will entreat, all right, for pardon for his sins? All right. So remember, we all need forgiveness. We all need mercy. All right. So you approach these situations in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right. And apply, the steps, apply the fruits of the spirit. Remember, you're praying for more patience. You're praying for more long suffering. You're praying, all right, for all of these various different things. Don't be surprised when the Lord puts you in a position to where you have to apply them. So we're going to end it off in Ephesians 4, right? Ephesians, the 4th chapter. And yep. Ephesians 4:22, that ye put off concerning the former conversation, the old man, which is corrupt according to deceitful lust. All right. A lot of men don't handle things, all right, any different than what they handled it in the world. That's not going to work. Okay. The way we handle things have to be according to the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai and the instruction that we received. Okay. But you got to be a soldier. And again, you have to have a chin in this truth. All right. A boxer, he could do all of this, that. If he ain't got no chin, he get his ass hit. He out of there. Certain brothers get hit and have to endure certain situations in this truth. They out of there. They don't know how to deal with the uncomforting and continue in that love and deal. And, that's a fight. That's a part of the war we in. Okay. A big part of the war is mental, your mind, then amongst the brotherhood, certain things are going to happen. What do you think Paul's writing these letters for? That ye put off concerning the former conversation, the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust. Okay? And be renewed, all right, in the spirit of your mind. Renewed. Okay? Ananeo. To renew in the mind. You have to have a changed mind. You got certain women that still been around brothers 17 years plus, still mad about other women. And brothers don't even be out there, doing too much like that. But you got you women, you've been around all these goddamn years and heard all these lessons, and that's still your worry? Still trying to look through your man phone, doing all that? You tripping. You haven't renewed your mind. You still think like a Western woman. Grow up, nigga. Big ass feet. All right? And be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that ye put on the new man, all right, which is after the Most High, all right, created in righteousness and true holiness. Wherefore put away lying, all right, speaking every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another. All right, stop lying. Okay, that shit's stupid. Be ye angry and sin not. let not the sun go down upon your wrath. And that's not the easiest thing to do. All right. But it can lead to you going off and sinning in the spirit if you don't deal with these things accordingly. Apply true love, learn how to forgive, learn how to get over yourself, and understand this is the Lord's program. And certain things are just a challenge. Challenges that don't go away overnight. Certain things the Lord will put you in a situation where he knows your spirit. He knows what kind of rubs you the wrong way. He'll put you in a situation where you have to deal with things. Come on now. And I'm a babe in this thing. I'm only 17 years in, right? But I've been through things in this truth. I know where the mind can take you. I've been through niggas in the camp, or I've been through all kind of stuff, and still going through it. I ain't finished yet. All right. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down on your wrath. And this is speaking amongst each other, man. So this is letting you know things are going to happen amongst each other. Neither give place to the devil. All right. When you're sitting there and you're just growling, all right, inside your mind, this motherfucker ain't right. This bitch ass nigga, yada, 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 I hate, Hey, well, Satan eventually jumps in there. All right. And as we get down to the straight gate, all right, brothers are going to need each other. So we're going to have to be on some type of accord, man. Let him that stole steal no more. All right. But rather let him labor working with his hands the thing which is good, that he may have to give to him that need it. All right. Get a job. Okay. Do something to earn you some income, whatever, as long as it's within the, so that you can be able to help out and not be a liability. You don't want to be a liability. You want to be an asset. Let no corrupt communication, all right, proceed out of your mouth. And what is corrupt according to the scriptures? This is talking about SHITFUCK. Shit, we did a video the other day. We were talking about how the new bodies are going to have, penises, and Eve, cursed us out. That's corrupt communication. I can't believe you would talk about a penis. Well, you came out of a penis. We're just saying, if the new body's got arms, legs, head, feet, eyes, would it be far-fetched that we would have rods in the kingdom? And she lost her mind. That was corrupt communication to her. All right? It says rotten, putrefied, corrupted, and the word is sapros, poor quality, bad, unfit for use, worthless. Okay? Literally or morally, bad, corrupt, to make corrupt, destroyed, to be corrupted, to be rotten. Okay? And those are things that go outside of the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So let no corrupt communication come out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace to the hearers. Okay? So, yeah, and we do have to be careful of, what we say, and, how, knowing who we talking to, who we're around. All right? We want ultimately edification to come out. That's the purpose of these videos. That's the purpose of us going out on the highways and the byways. And grieve not the Holy Spirit, all right, by you ultimately being a nigga, being overly emotional, okay, not being forgiving, okay, not dealing as a man of Yahweh Bashim Yashai, and grieve not the Holy Spirit of the Most High, whereby ye are sealed unto the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice, and be ye kind one to another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as Yahweh Shai is forgiving you. Shalom.